Darren Bailey proudly embraces the Trump agenda, calling into question our elections and fighting for gun owners and the unborn. Tell Darren Bailey his policies are just too conservative for Illinois.
All right, got to look at the small print of that ad for Illinois governor. It tells you everything you need to know. If we put the ad back up, you'll see it shows paid by the Democratic Governors Association. The Democrats are trying to promote firebrand conservative Darren Bailey in the primary. The DGA and sitting Governor J.B. Pritzker, also a Democrat, have spent tens of millions of dollars, literally tens of millions, promoting the most conservative Republican. He's now a runaway favorite in tomorrow's primary. He leads Richard Irvin by double digits. Irvin is a moderate Republican. He's the mayor of Aurora, Illinois, African-American, would have the best chance conceivably against Pritzker. He's funded by a billionaire. Emphasis on the word moderate. The Democrats would much rather face Bailey than Irvin this November. So they ran ads trashing Bailey and promoting Irvin. It's a risky strategy, but helping a firebrand conservative win the Republican primary only then to turn the tables for November has worked in the past, most notably for Democratic Senator Claire McCaskill, who famously helped Todd Akin win the Republican primary and then beat him in the general. Joe Walsh, former Illinois congressman, with us now. Big picture, I guess, Ken Griffin, the billionaire behind Irvin, has spent hundreds of millions of dollars, or $100 million, and gotten nothing.
Hey, Leland, good to be with you. Yeah, Griffin, look, money does matter. It helps. Griffin put his money behind a candidate who had no fit in a Republican primary in Illinois. I mean, the guy would hardly speak to voters. He hardly ever spoke to the media. He wouldn't answer questions. It was a waste of resources. Irvin was a lousy candidate, period.
All right. Now you've got Darren Bailey up 20 points in the polls, firebrand conservative. Do the Democrats really have a risk here in promoting this very, very, very conservative Republican in a blue state like Illinois?
I don't think so. I mean, Leland, it's probably smart politics. I suppose they could get burned by it. They did the same thing. Shapiro did the same thing in Pennsylvania. And to run against the most extremist Republican for governor. It's smart politics. Illinois is a blue state, a solid blue state. Darren Bailey, southern state legislator, farmer, very pro-life, very pro-gun. That doesn't play in Illinois.
It may not play necessarily in Chicago, but if things get bad enough with the economy, and we all know that Illinois is sort of at the worst end of this in terms of people leaving, businesses leaving, Boeing just left and the like. And this is what President Trump, after President Trump endorsed Bailey, this is what Bailey had to say.
I think people are going to realize and potentially even appreciate President Trump more so in November, and that endorsement and an America First agenda, which is going to start right here in Illinois.
All right, things get bad enough. So you have a point?
No, maybe, but not no, Leland. Look, the Republican Party is now a Trumpy party. Trumpism doesn't play in Illinois, especially you've got Chicago, you've got the suburbs, and you've got downstate. Darren Bailey will win downstate. He'll get destroyed in the city, and he's going to lose the suburbs. And look, I'm pro-life, Leland, but I think the Roe decision on Friday is going to hurt Republican candidates when it comes to the suburban vote. And Republicans were beginning to turn that vote around.
Yeah, no, they definitely were. And we saw that all of a sudden now the generic ballot certainly is changing. What do we do about billionaires creating Manchurian candidates, either in the form of Irvin himself or in the form of themselves? J.B. Pritzker, who basically has bought both of these elections now.
Leland, I'm contrarian on this. There's nothing we can do or should do. It's up to the voters. Look, if it pisses the voters off that this guy Irvin had one billionaire putting 30 or 40 million behind him, well, then the voters should take it out on Irvin. And it sounds like Republican voters have done that. If Illinois voters don't like the fact that J.B. Pritzker's the wealthiest governor in the country and he can put God's money into his race, well, then it's up to voters to vote against Pritzker. I just think we need transparency, Leland. Where is this money coming from? And if it bothers voters, it bothers voters.
At some point, though, isn't that how we end up with an oligarchy ruling class?
Well, yes, but
if the price to entry is so high that no one else can get in and you can buy your way in and crush everybody else, then what?
Well, but this is the problem, Leland. What we've tried to do over the last 50 years is put restrictions on what people can give candidates. Look, when I was in Congress, I was the poorest member of Congress. I had to spend, I didn't have money, so I had to spend a lot of my time raising $1,000 at a time, day after day after day. Self-funders, really wealthy people, they can just put their own money in the campaign. So we limit what middle-class people can raise. That's a problem.
Yeah, fair point. It becomes limiting that way as well. Hey, Joe, it's good to see you as always. Thank you.
Thanks, Leland.
All right. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.